Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back. We are back on the way of the hunter. This is part two. I was showing you a little bit of the map. Went through and showed you that on the part one that the Kodiak bear is located down here in the bottom right, all this area right here. And I told you that I would be streaming again and tell you about what I found up here in the top part. Well, the top part up here, you will find gray wolves. You will find mountain goat, the barren caribou, woodland bison, and I think that's all I found up there. There's no Kodiaks up in here. Down here in the lower part right here, you will find some knee zones. Here, I'll pull them up here. Show you the knee zones here. You see the wolf, and you got the barren ground caribou, and there's quite a bit of them up through here, and there's quite a bit of the mountain goat as well, and the wolves are pretty abundant up in here as well. When you get down into this area here, you got the wood bison, and they're in abundance. I mean, the herd are just, you wouldn't believe how many's in a herd. But for the most part, this whole upper corner here, you will not find no type of bears. It is just all mountain goats, wolves, and your barren ground caribou. So that's what I found up there, and your black bear seems to be in this middle area, down in here. You see there's the American black bear. But once you get past this right here, that's when you start running into the Kodiak. I have not hit over here on the far left yet, so I'm not sure exactly what that holds, but like I said, your whole middle area is your American black bear if you want to hunt them. But we're going to go up here, and I'm going to start this campsite, and I'm going to come over, and I'm just going to walk this riverway all the way up to that question mark and get this opened up. And you're going to find, if you start, I mean, you can walk through the hills and stuff, and you'll find knee zones. But the best way I found to do it is I'll follow the waterways first, and I'll get all the knee zones opened up in the waterways, and your little ponds and lakes and whatever have you on your map. And then I start working through the hills and the woods and all that. So let's go over here. We'll just fast travel here. Sit around here. Change the time to 6:30 in the morning. Okay. So first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go down here where I left off right here, and I will start right there. Don't forget to turn on your hunter sense when you're doing this, because I've actually walked for quite a while and thinking, man, I ain't found a knee zone forever, and all of a sudden I remember, hey. And it actually still may not be light enough yet to be able to see the zone, so I'll just turn this light on for a little bit here. And again, remember, you cannot zoom in and out with your binoculars. They are set to one magnification, and that's it. And unlike the Hunter Call of the Wild, all the need zones are lit up constantly on this game. Where the Hunter Call of the Wild, it's a time thing. The morning zones are lit up of a morning, and the evening zones are lit up of an evening. That is not the case in the way the Hunter. They all light up constantly, so you don't have to worry about the time thing, which I find to be a pretty good feature. And the fact that it don't cost anything to rotate the time on this game, where in the Hunter Call of the Wild, every time you rotate it, you keep rotating the time, the price just keeps going up. So it's light enough to see the zone, so see there's a whole herd of Roosevelt elk. Go down here and see if we can check and see what we got in the herd. Get close enough and see if there's any in there that can be weeded out. I haven't done a whole lot of game management on this map yet. There's a lot of adult ones in this bunch. I only seen one mature, and it was only a level 2. And this young one right here is not near the rack size as the other young one. That young one right there, that's gonna be a nice bull, but that one right there, the back one, he's probably one that could be taken out of the herd, or that mature 2. And you see the rack on that adult one right there. One size is way smaller than the other. And the same thing with that adult one. Those are the type you want to weed out. And that young one right there, that's going to be a really nice bull. That mature 2 could be taken out. He's not too impressive. That young one right there, that is going to be A really, really nice bull, and there's another one right there that's got a pretty good rack on him already. So I'm just gonna keep working down this creek bank so I can get a good shot on one of them, then I'll try to harvest one of them. Right there, one I'm gonna take out. I can get them to where they're not bunched up. When the females got alerted, when that happens, I usually come to a stop and then I'll just creep really slow. And sometimes they still spook off. Made a good shot on him. He shouldn't go real far. And as you see, he just went down. Those have the racks like that where they're different sizes on one smaller than the other one. Those are the ones that you need to take out of the herd if you're going to do any type of management whatsoever. So they're just not going to materialize into a symmetrical rack. And but if that's the type you like, well, you can just leave them in there and let them grow a little bit bigger and then take them out. There's a look at your woodland bison. I don't have the gun for taking one of them down. I'm using the 7mm. If you're going to shoot them, you need to use the 338 Lapua or the 300 Magnum or the 350. But they're a good sized animal. And they run in pretty good sized groups. And now there's a look at the moose. Haven't seen any big racked moose on this map yet. But once I start taking out some of them smaller ones like that, might start seeing some big ones come in. And I'll show you here, look at this rack, what I'm talking about. You'll see how one size is actually a good deal bigger than the other side. It's just not going to produce into a really nice bowl. It's just not going to happen. So take him out of the herd. Sell him and collect the money. And I'll work my way back up this so I can head up through there. That gave you a look at the woodland bison. I gave you a look at the Roosevelt elk and the moose and foxes. Haven't ran into a great deal of foxes. I mean, there are a few on here, but this doesn't seem to be a whole lot. Just gonna. I've already been through this area unlocking need zones, so I'm just gonna pick the space up here. And as you see, we followed them, that Roseville elk herd down through here over 600 yards, so we followed them quite a ways before I took the shot. To make an ethical kill, you need to be patient and take your time and wait for that animal to offer you the right shot that you feel comfortable with. Quite a bit of foxes there. There went 5. And you don't want to go taking too many out of a herd at once either, because that'll apply hunting pressure. I want to just throw that out there. If you apply too much hunting pressure, what that will do is then they'll just take and move on to a different need zone. I do wish they would come out with I like the need zones being lit up constantly, but I think once you find them, that they should be lit up so you don't have to keep clicking on the need zones. Not sure what that was. It could have been a barren caribou or maybe a sicka deer. And as you see, because if you don't walk up through here, and I'm not saying you gotta hit everything going up through here, but for the most part, you really got to click on just about every one or every few, because they do mix the need zones and you will pass over a need zone and not get that need zone. Like I said, your waterways, they are a great way to start you off on finding need zones. So that's what I do. I pretty much will try to hit every waterway, whether it be a creek or a pond or a lake. And I'll make sure that I walk all the way around or all the way up. Ooh, horrible lag. And the things I noticed on here about the barren Caribou is, I've seen females on here that have a way bigger rack than the males. So just because it's got a nice rack does not mean that it's a male. So if you're going to do a game management type thing, make sure you bring out your binoculars and make sure you know what you're shooting at. Got some wolves up here, so there must be a drink zone for them. And as you can tell down there in the bottom right hand corner, wind's blowing pretty good. And it's blowing right up the same creek bed that I'm walking up. So they're probably picking up on my scent. And they just took off. The wolves on here are really skittish. Not aggressive at all. They will absolutely just run from one end of the map to the other just to get away from you. And they're an animal that's on this game that is really bad about the hunting pressure. Once you shoot one or two, they will not come back into that zone for a while. So and they don't bring a whole lot of money. So if you're wanting to make money and need money for stuff on the game, you're not going to make a whole lot off the wolves. The mountain goats seem to be decent on the money. The Kodiak, I was quite disappointed on how much I got out of the Kodiak bear. I really thought it would bring high dollar, but it did not. But I just, like I said, I walk the creek beds, and I'll cut across every once in a while because they will put zones. I mean, there'll be zones on both sides, but sometimes they'll throw another animal zone in on the other side, and so every once in a while, if you're walking the creek bed trying to open up zones, make sure you just go across the other side once in a while and click on that zone as well. Otherwise you might be missing the knee zone. And as you see, everything up through here is fleeing. It doesn't matter what it is. And as you see, these zones are literally quite big. I'm not getting why they go for so long, but they do. But again, if they would come out with the option that you click on it and you open that zone, and then this highlighted area disappears or changes a different color or something, let you know, hey, you've already clicked on that. That would be an awesome feature, so you ain't gotta keep walking through, clicking on stuff. And make sure you look off to the edges once in a while too, because all your wolf feeding zones will be just right there by their drink, right off the side of the waterway. And that's the other thing I really haven't gotten figured out, is why the Kodiak bear has a wooded feed zone, and the wolves has got a carcass, and the fox have a carcass, and the Kodiak should have a carcass as well. I guess it was just as easy to throw in and leave it the same as the black bear. And like I said, that bearing ground caribou, man, they are really, really of abundance. There are so many zones for them, and they cover pretty much the whole map. The bottom part down there has sika deer. I have not found any sika deer up here in the top part. I'll pull my map here in a minute, and you'll see the path that I've been taking, and look how wide it is. It's like 400 yards wide. So you got like 200 yards on the right and 200 yards on the left of ground that you're actually not seeing. So just because you're walking up through here doesn't mean you're covering this whole area, because you're not. You're only covering the area that you're walking up through and getting your knee zones there. There could be knee zones all along this or over here and all along this that you'll have to go back through and find the feed zones, which you can do once you're hunting, because once you open up the water zones and it shows you what animals are here, you know there's got to be feed zones around here. So once you start to get everything opened up and you actually start hunting, then you'll be hitting these and finding the feed zones as well. And the other features I found on this game that I really like and would have been great if they'd had it on the Hunter Call of the Wild, but they don't, is the fact that you can actually just go in here, and if you go over here to the right, you'll see where your time is, but it also tells you 1 hour what direction the wind is blowing, 2 hours what direction the wind will be blowing, 3 hours what direction the wind will be blowing, 4, it just tells you with up to 6 hours what direction the wind is going to be blowing. So it kind of helps you out when you're hunting. You'll know what direction that wind's coming from, so you can place yourself where the wind will not be a factor. That's a really cool feature. And the wind does not flip-flop on this game like it does the Hunter Call of the Wild. The Hunter Call of the Wild, that wind will change direction so many times. So you're sitting somewhere and you're wanting to get on the end, you never know, that wind's going to flip 360 degrees on you, and where you set up is not going to be a good spot to hunt. And it can change every 10 minutes, man. It flip-flops all the time on the Hunter Call of the Wild. Where on here, what direction it tells you, and it goes by the air like that, is exactly what it's going to be. It's not a swirling wind, it's a constant one direction. Not saying that it does rotate, as you've seen there where I showed you. It'll tell you your hour by for up to 6 hours. And you see we're finding knee zones up through here, and you'll find a lot of knee zones. And for each knee zone you find, if it's not marked on your map, each icon thing would be a different herd of animal. So when you're going up through here, like I find these mountain goat zones, if there's 3 mountain goat icons, then there's 3 different mountain goat herds. Now you can do the zones however you want to do them. That would be mountain goat. You can walk fast up through here and open them up just to get them open really quick and get it over and done with. Running, if you're running, your hunter sense does not work, so running will not help you a bit. But you can stand up and just walk like this. And as you see, it's still lighting up. So you're just wanting to get all this done in a hurry so you can get to your missions or so you can hunt. This is the best route to take on doing that. You cannot see out of the vehicle. It will not work from a vehicle, so driving a vehicle everywhere will not help you open these zones either. You really have to put in the time and, as I'm going to say, boots on the ground to open these zones. Actually, that's a caribou. It's on the mountain goat. See? Well, it's a beautiful map. Really like the fact that they brought a Kodiak bear in. The woodland bisons is different. The bear and caribou is different. There are some different animals on here. You got the snowshoe rabbit, which I've only found just a couple of zones for them. I haven't found a whole lot. But they are on here as well. Different type of, you have the wild duck, lesser scalp, surf scooter, I think is what they call it. I would have liked it a little better if the bear would have covered more territory. I'm a huge bear hunter. I love hunting a bear on the game. I spent weeks upon weeks on the Hunter Call of the Wild, hunting black bear and grizzly bear, trying to get a great one to spawn in, but never did get a great one to spawn in. And for every icon animal that you open up for every knee zone, there is 2 drink zones. One will be rarely and one will be often. And then you'll have your feed zones, which will be the same, rarely and often. I haven't really paid attention. I think the rest zones are the same too, rarely and often. As you also can tell, it takes quite a while to cover this ground. I mean, we're getting close to finishing out this waterway, but been going up it for quite a ways and it's taking quite a while. And I don't know why both these games, there wants a mountain goat. Both these games, you got the crouch walk. I mean, I do not crouch walk when I'm actually out in the woods hunting. I'd make all kinds of noise. Now the mountain goat on here are quite bigger than the ones on the Hunter Call of the Wild. They're not real big on the Hunter Call of the Wild, but on here, they're a pretty good size. As you can see, there's one right out there. Probably not won't be able to get real close to him. There's a young male there. Let's see if we can work in a little closer here and see what we got there, and give you guys a closer look at them. The one feature that I do like on the Hunter Call of the Wild that is not offered on this game is when you see an animal, you can highlight it and it opens up that need zone, which is not a really big thing. The big thing is highlighting it and it being marked on your map. That is a big feature. Well, it's easy to lose track of what you're shooting at and where it was. And right there's a whole bunch of them out there on the hill. Got an adult one, a couple adult females. Gonna stay over here to the left, try to keep them from getting my scent, and see if we can't find a clear, visible lane to actually see what's over there. He's out here to see if I can't get up on this little mountain for these two pine trees, so I can look down in there. I got two adult females, one young one, and one adult one. There. I just see there's quite a bit more of them up there. Just gonna ease up here to this campsite. Don't think it's got a billboard, but we'll check and see. Oh, it does not have one. Don't female. And that's the other thing about this game, is the animals that are in herds like that are usually all cluttered together. So when you change, because you got to bring up your binoculars to find out what they are, unless you're just shooting them. But if you're going to do any herd management whatsoever, you know that you got to watch what you shoot, and therefore you have to bring up your binoculars and actually go through. But by the time you bring down your binoculars and get your gun out, 9 times out of 10, as you say, they usually have rotated and, well, you done lost the one that you was looking at. But we have finally made it all the way up through here. And we got all this taken care of. This is right here is a really steep mountain, and there's nothing up there, so I'm not even going to go up there and clear out that dark area. Same thing with this here. Probably not going to pull that because I found out that there's no knee zones up in the top of these. So going up through there, you're just wasting your time. Unless you want to clear out the dark areas, which, that's fine. But pretty much, this is all dead zones, these peaks. So if you're going up through there and you're wondering why I ain't finding no knee zones, well, that's why you're not finding any. All these peaks, every one of them is a dead zone. But that's a look at the top of the map. That's going to do it for this stream. I shall catch you guys on the next one, and I will be doing one later when I go through this over here and see what all this over here has to offer. And then I will do another one on down here as well to see what this down in here has to offer. But I shall catch you on the next one. You guys have a good one. Later.